possession, and you're in that building, something's really wrong with that. They should be in those jail suits. They shouldn't be out in our community to risk another life. Think about it. They are endangering you and I. So I know it's going to take time to change the law. I get it. I get it. It's going to take time. But you know what? You need to tell me.
You need to understand this too. Because the more arrests that they make, that's better. Okay? We know that DWIs are happening every single day. There's DWI, somebody out there right now, we're not so far after the night shift. We have cases where DWI at 6, 7, 8 o'clock. Right? And 6 years ago, in 2019, we charged over 3,000 people to the DWI. Okay? That's how many cases law enforcement would send to us. The last couple of years, it's been 2,300, 2,400. So I know it doesn't seem like it, but they're actually arresting and charging, we're charging fewer people for DWI. And it's not because it's not happening. We need more resources out there catching it. So I will tell you this, when we see the numbers go up on the arrests, on the cases, to me, that's actually a sign of the progress that we're catching, that we're catching.
But TABC is not doing their job because the bars are not holding insurances. They're not being accountable and how much they're over serving. Something needs to stop because it's a chain and it's happening to every person in El Paso, Texas. We need the laws to change. These bars need to be just as much as accountable for over serving.
1,000%.
If they walking out the door, it's their responsibility.
Another area for you all to look at, this is beyond our office, is civil liability. Is to expand people's ability to sue businesses and other people for over-providing, over-serving services.
That's right, but we can't. We gotta do something. A child's life was taken, and we're reminded every day how our babies' lives were taken and stolen. How is that justice for us grieving families?
Not fair. None of this is fair.
The laws are fair. It's the laws. The laws are not. They're working against us, not with us. And that's a problem. We need to change these laws. We're the ones that come to the courts.
We demanding.
And once they're up there, when they're being in court, they're the victims. Our kids are no longer the victims. They're the victims because they're alive, and that's not fair. Why? It was a choice they made. It wasn't something. It was a choice. Our kids didn't have that choice and that option. We didn't have that option, and they're up there. They're the victims. We become. They don't care about us, and that's not fair because it's not only about us. We have kids. We have to show them their funeral, their brother, their sister, their little. How do we explain that to them? There's no possible way, and our hearts are broken, and we lose our job because we have to be coming here because of the choices they made.
Amen.
And it's not fair, and it's not fair. And you get out of here in 1 year, 2 years, 8 years, and they're out in jail doing it again. And why do we have to
with their
send?
families? We're
Yes.
not. We're not with our babies anymore. We live with the pain. We live with the grief.
Cannot represent us. They need to quit, or we need to fire them. Because this is never going to change it. It's about politics. We need to start getting signatures to kick everybody out already.
I will tell you, it is, in my opinion, it's not about that. I think every elected official here supports you. What makes this hard, and what makes jury trials hard is people know people that do DWI. People know a cousin or a family member. Or
You're
a
talking
friend.
about a jury.
Yeah, well, and not even just jury, just more widely. Everybody here, you know, their tío or their tía, somebody that drives drunk.
Right.
And so the only way we're ever going to stop and make this preventable from not happening is people have to hold each other accountable.
But meanwhile, the families live with the pain. We live with the grief. And we're reminded again because her life was taken, their lives were taken. That person, the child's life is taken. When is it going to be enough? When is it going to be enough?
And you say that, and we need that information because we already in grief. We're in grief, and it's not one day. It's the rest of our lives. So we don't know where to go, where to start. Our minds are not here. Remember, we have other family members that we're trying to protect.
Don't do it. Don't get behind the wheel. Make a smarter choice. Don't drink and drive. Go get a friend. Get an Uber. Get a taxi. If they can afford a drink, they can afford a drive home safe. Why are they using their vehicle as a weapon, and why is our court system allowing it? Why?
Politicians need to start using their platform instead of building more stupid stuff with our taxes. They need to be here with us. The mayor needs to be here with us. The city representative, everybody. So where are the city representatives? What are drinking coffee? How is it fair?
Celebrating, taking pictures, up and doing other stuff instead of standing here. Let's go to legislature. Let's work a plan. We gotta get together. Why is they not standing with these families?
Montoya, mi sobrino fue muerto por una mujer de 20 años que decidió tomar. Iba a 118 millas por hora. Y le pegó por detrás a mi sobrino que iba en su motocicleta al trabajo. Esa noche ella se fue y se durmió en su casa. Mi sobrino quedó en el pavimento. No es justo que ni una noche pasen en cárcel. Luego vayan a corte, agarran un abogado, le dan provecho 3 años. Y la vida de mi sobrino se quedó allí.
You don't want to be
Familia
here
quedó
standing with
destrozada.
us. You don't want your loved ones standing here.
Son decisiones de ellos tomar,
shouldn't, but this is our
manejar,
reality.
ir en exceso de velocidad. No es justo.
¿Dónde está el alcalde?
Señor Montoya, en Oklahoma hubo un caso donde mataron a una persona porque se suponía que usó su carro como una arma para dañar a un oficial. ¿Por qué en este caso no se está tomando la misma situación y tienen la misma consecuencia? Y no estoy hablando que los asesinen, pero al menos que tengan la misma, el peso de la ley, como lo tuvo a ese muchacho que se supone que usó su carro o esa mujer que usó su carro como arma. En esta ocasión lo hicieron. Usaron su carro como una arma y no están teniendo las consecuencias que tuvieron. A mi hijo lo mató también una persona, un muchacho más joven que 32 años tenía mi hijo y decidió ponerse bien borracho y manejar. Y lo mató, igual le pegó por atrás porque argumenta que no lo vio. Es injusto lo que está pasando, es injusto. Ellos se van a la cárcel 1 o 2 años, si es que se van a la cárcel y nosotros nos quedamos con este pesar y con este luto. Es injusto. Quizás no vamos a alcanzar nosotros justicia para nuestros hijos, pero sí para las demás personas. Para las demás personas que vayan a pasar por esto. Ya no debe de haber más personas, señor Montoya. Gracias por escucharnos.
And DWI laws, when it comes down to a fatality, there should be a 0 bond until they go to criminal court. They should be sitting there in hell like us. We have to get up, go to work. We had to come together and get the funeral started. You have no idea the damage it does to us. It is the most painful thing that we all went through. And we try to look for the money to come up with it.
And the fines that I still pay interest in a funeral that I still owe. I pay interest still with him for my son's life. His life mattered. It wasn't a first choice second, it was the third. And I'm supposed to stay here and stand silent. I live it every day.
You don't need to stand silent. You're out here. You're not being silent.
No, I can't, but I was told to be silent. I was told to be quiet.
We're not going to do it.
This is about people's future. This is about people's lives. And this is enough. I'm not going to stand here because God is putting me here.
That's right.
God told me to be here and say enough is enough. Protect these angels. Protect families.
Penas más duras, necesitamos penas más duras.
Sí, señor Montoya, en
Dan
especial.
provecho, le dan 1 o 2 años de cárcel y no salen a
God told me
tomar.
to be here.
Penas más duras.
I can't no more. I can't be silent.
And we're calling out to the community to help us. We need the help. It's not going to stop tomorrow. It's not going to stop next week. How many more? Just blood is going to be on your guys' hands. And it needs to start right now.
You need to go to your leaders, Mr. Montoya. Go to your leaders and tell them this is enough. This is enough.
But also address the community. And we all need to be on the same plan.
Yes.
We all need to be on the same
I
plan.
want to get
In their offices, getting paid by
we
us.
can make laws as strict as we can. And we can
Judges.
punish people after they do a bad thing. But if we really want this to stop, we need to stop it before it happens.
Well, let's go. Let's go here. Let's go.
That's where
Let's
we
go.
need all of the community.
We as
to
a
step
community.
forward. And when you see somebody, and when you know your brother or your sister is going out to party, you need to be asking them,
Accountability.
how are you going to get home?
Have the courage to stop them
Yes.
before they
But people don't listen. That's the
Exactly.
problem.
If that does not work, what's plan B?
What's that? We
What's
need
plan B?
That's fine, but when you have repeated offenders, the laws need to get a little bit stricter.
Absolutely.
100%.
And why do we have to wait for 2-3 times to do it so it could be something? Why? Why not at the first time?
Whenever it's your family member,
I do this job because I care.
well,
For
yeah,
all of
but
you.
I'm just saying, when are we gonna care until it affects one of you guys? You guys can say you care, but if you don't make stronger laws, that's not showing me you care.
Amen. Law enforcement's doing what they need to do. They're doing what they are meant to do.
The sheriff's department has done a
The
fantastic
law
job.
enforcement is overwhelmed. They are
We are
overwhelmed.
supportive of having more law enforcement. I'm telling you, we are arresting fewer DWIs right now
We need
than we were
checkpoints.
6 years ago.
Not,
So we
not a
need more.
holiday, not a certain weekend. Every day we need checkpoints. You need, if you're going to encourage more police, get checkpoints. This is not about liberal. This is about people's lives.
Laws need to change, James. They need to change.
We're begging you. We're pleading with you.
Las víctimas no tienen una segunda chance. Sin embargo,
Well, I'm glad you all reached out to the state representatives because they're the law makers. They're the law changers.
That's why I gave you that letter. I gave you that letter. We have, and we're getting more signatures because we're demanding change. We want change. We don't need more grave sites. We don't need to visit more funerals. This is enough. It's enough. You are the only one. If you say that you believe in us families that are standing here, then demand with your leaders. This is enough.
Please do something. Please.
We are.
What is being done?
I have some legislative proposals that we can take to our state representatives in January. No, that we are. You know, we got to put them together. We have to draft the laws, right? We have to draft a bill.
It's like you can easily say, "Oh, we're making laws." What are those laws?
Well, so one, I think so right now in the state of Texas, as I mentioned, it's not a felony until you've been convicted twice and then your third arrest. We can change that. We can change it to where right now it's your first two are a misdemeanor, one misdemeanor, your next one's a felony. We can change it right now. It's not a felony. If you get into a car crash with somebody and you injure them, unless it's a serious injury, serious bodily injury, that's what makes it a felony. But if you just hurt somebody regular without causing them serious injury, that's still a misdemeanor. That can be a felony. Right now, so one of the things that we did for family violence many years ago is we were noticing that someone would commit family violence, they would go to jail, they'd get out, and a week later, 2 weeks later, they'd do it again. Family violence cases, your first time's a misdemeanor. If you get convicted, the second time's a felony. But because people were going in the jail and coming out and they were reoffending so quickly before we could get them convicted, we now changed it where if you commit 2 family violence cases in 1 year, that's now a felony. So we can do different things that other states are doing and other states have adopted it. Like we said, Arizona, I will tell you, we can propose lowering the BAC in the state of Texas. I don't know that the Texas legislature is there on it. In fact, only one state out of 50 has done that. But we can try.
And we can't change that here in El
We
Paso
cannot.
as a city. So it has to be a state.
Yes.
So be it.
So the criminal laws come from the state, from Austin.
Yeah. They need to change.
Let's go with the judges. The judges, they turn around And
So
they say,
I want to talk about bonds. People have, and this is another change, because under the Constitution, people have a right to bond. They do. They
but
have a
how
right
they
to
address
bail.
these offenders, the judges, how they address these offenders. And you know what I'm talking about. And you know that they said that comment.
And this person
Listen.
that killed my son paid $1,000. His bond was $10,000. He bailed out paying $1,000 for my son's life. Are you freaking kidding
And how
me?
much was the funeral? How much was the funeral? How much was
It
that?
was $12,000.
That therapy you have to take.
He
after
should have
that.
picked up that damn bill. He should have been at the corners looking at what he did to my
I
son.
know, there's a
He should have looked at that. He did that. He caused that.
But these
And it's
judges
like, no.
that say, don't you think it's time to show your community that you already served enough? What's that?
Yeah.
You're encouraging them. You're enabling them. Don't you think it's time you show society it was an accident? What kind of message are you sending to these people?
Do it again.
Do it again?
Do it a second time.
And you know it. You know they said that. And that is not right.
It's not right.
That is not right. My son's life mattered.
All of these people mattered. Look at them. Look at every single one of them. They had a future. They could have gotten married. They could have had kids. They could have been an attorney. They had so much to live for. And now they're not here. But we are their voice, James. We're their voice, and we forever will be.
Are we putting more checkpoints? Because like,
No, so under the law,
she brought up a good point. Like, it shouldn't even happen to you. There should be no drunk drivers at all in the streets.
Amen.
And how do we enforce that? By checkpoints.
Let me stop you right there, because DWI checkpoints in the state of Texas are not legal.
We need it to make it legal. We need
Law
it to
enforcement,
make it
if the
legal.
El Paso Police Department wanted to do a DWI checkpoint right now or tonight, they could not do it.
We need
It is
to make it
against
legal.
the law
That
in the
needs
state of
to change.
Texas
That's
for a
ridiculous.
law enforcement agency to operate a DWI checkpoint.
Let's talk to Abbott.
So,
Let's talk to the governor.
and that can change. So Texas is one of, I think, 10 states that does not have DWI checkpoints.
We need to
Most
change it.
states do.
We need to change.
We need to
That's
push.
why we need to push.
We need to push as hard as we can.
And there's, I'm pretty sure, a lot of families that are standing with us for this change, because it needs to happen. Because we need to take their vehicles away, whatever it takes.
Take their license away.
And I will
Flag
tell
the
you,
licenses.
I want to, this is, candidly, this is not just an El Paso issue. This happens across the state of Texas. I mean, San Antonio, their city council.
We're not worried about the rest of the state.
Well,
We
no.
lost our kids here.
If
With
we're
all
gonna
due respect.
if we're gonna pass laws in Austin to change state laws, we're gonna need elected legislators from other parts of the state to vote with us.
Well, let's
We
do it.
we only have 5 state representatives here in El Paso, four and a half. Eddie Morales, he covers the east side all the way basically to San Antonio. That's 5 votes. We're gonna need 76 votes in the state House of Representatives to pass a law. And so we're gonna need, my call to action to you all is to start reaching out to other groups in other cities. Other cities.
I'm
Because we're
reaching
gonna need
out,
to
and I'm not
build
speaking.
a
I'm speaking for
broad
this
coalition.
case. I'm talking for all these families that are impacted, and they joined our group because they said enough is enough.
Enough.
So if we have to reach out to Dallas,
But
San
we need
Antonio,
our leaders,
whatever, you
our
need to help us,
leaders to
James.
stand with us.
You need to help us.
Because it's like, that's why we put you guys in power. Because
Right.
it's like, oh, you guys need to do it. No.
No,
You
we
guys
need
We
to
don't
do
get
it.
paid for it. No.
In
other words, we're-
need to do it. What are they? Where are they doing now? What are they doing? Taking pictures for social media?
Exactly.
Or
Why-
let us know
why
how
are they
how
here?
can we help you.
Where's the mayor?
So I would say that the people that change the laws are our state representatives. And I know you've
Include
reached out
us.
to them.
Include
How-
us.
how do we bring them
Include
here?
us.
You
Don't
gotta-
do it
you
on
gotta-
your own.
I mean, I assume you've reached out to them. You
Yeah,
got a
we've already
response
met
from
with
Yes,
Vince.
but
Right.
come with us. That's what we're asking. Choose comfort over do it. Come with us because
I'm
we're
happy
the
to.
voices.
I'm happy to.
We're every
Happy to.
voice right here.
Happy to. Erica's gonna give you cards. When you have meetings with other elected officials, you call me and we will be
This
there.
is a meeting where they're supposed to be here. It was announced on FitFam. They're supposed to be here.
So that, I don't know if you'll
This
know
is the
this, but
meeting.
San Antonio,
This is la junta, yeah.
San Antonio has multiple city council members committed to the flag. San Antonio.
So that's a
has-
problem, man.
And how are they empowered?
Because, well, under the law, under the city charter in San Antonio, that's not a reason to remove them from council.
That's ridiculous.
But what I'm telling you, the point I'm trying to make is, this is a statewide issue.
And that's why
okay?
we're getting
And
every
that's why it
signature.
needs to be a statewide push. And that's why the only place we're going to change the laws are not here at the city council. It's going to be in Austin at the state house, at the legislature. And so just so you know, the legislature only meets every other year. They're not even meeting right now. So, and they only meet for 6 months every other year. And so they're going to come back, they're going to start in January of 2027. So we have the rest of this year to put together a proposal of the bills that we want to pass, the laws that we want to change, and then they start in January and then they finish in June. That's it. Those 6 months is our chance to change the law.
Well, we got work to do, don't we? Got a lot of work to do.
So we're
because
asking
gonna
and we're
push.
pleading with our leaders to come. Let us know when you're doing this. Include these families, all that are here, that you are doing action. Include us. Don't exclude us. Include us because we need to be there with you. So they can hear every person that's been impacted, every life that's been taken.
They need to hear from the victims. It's got to stop. I know it's not going to stop tomorrow or next week. We will have more victims.
Today is Friday. Today people are gonna die in the streets of El Paso.
Yep.
If this doesn't change, the
Amen.
people that have the power that are being paid by us, they don't do anything. Probably it can be their families.
They
It
need
can
to
be
show
us.
They need every single one of you need to show us that you're
Today
doing
is Friday,
something.
guys. They're
This is
gonna-
what we're going to propose.
Send me an
When
email.
you have meetings, we will be there.
I am the founder of Sober Streets, and let me tell you, when I started this, my mission was not about my son. My mission was to end DWI and help every family to be their voice, their voice, and their voice to demand change. Because without them, I wouldn't be here right now. And when I saw every life, every child, and just Sophia that got impacted, that had to change. This is enough. Because it's a reminder that how we lost our loved ones. To Dalia, where is she, Dalia? Where is the little Dalia's family? They were family, they were a couple.
caso mío fueron el novio de mi hija y mi hija.
They were supposed to be married. And they died together.
Fueron dos vidas. Necesitamos que tenga castigo.
He was serving our country. Our country.
¿Por qué salen? ¿Por qué salen sin castigo? Y siguen tomando y siguen tomando. No, los agarra la policía y salen. ¿Por qué salen? Contésteme, ¿por qué salen? ¿Por qué salen y siguen tomando? Mi hijo creía en las leyes, en sus leyes. Él fue soldado y creía en sus leyes, creía en su justicia. ¿Y dónde está? ¿Dónde está? 8 años, ¿de qué le sirve? A mi hijo no le sirve de nada 8 años. ¿Por qué 8 años? ¿Por qué? Porque fue otro soldado el que lo mató. ¿Por qué siguen afuera todos los borrachos? ¿Por qué? Siguen matando, siguen matando. Yo tengo más hijos y quiero el paso seguro para mis nietas, para mis hijos, que quiero que estén seguros, que no me llegue un borracho por ahí y lo mate. No quiero. Pues por eso estoy haciendo esto, porque tengo más hijos, tengo nietas. Quiero que tengan el paso, porque ellas viven aquí y necesitamos un paso seguro. Yo mañana me muero.
2-year-old little
Pero
girl.
ellos
A
necesitan el
2-year-old child. Tell me, how is that normal?
None of this is moral. None of this is fair.
That's
None
why
of
we
it
need
is
our
right.
leaders. This needs to change.
Queremos más dinero para la policía también y para los sheriffs, no para las escuelas. Queremos que los policías estén bien pagados y protegidos y queremos muchos policías, muchos, porque ellos están tomando fotos a los suicidios, a los accidentes y los suicidios no aparecen. Nosotros queremos que estén en las calles protegiéndonos a nosotros, que esto ya no vuelva a pasar, por favor, que nos escuchen. No son Dios para seguirnos. Ni siquiera Dios requiere que hablemos tanto. Dios nos escucha a la primera. A la primera nos escucha Dios. Dios no quiere que nos le estén rogando. ¿Por qué les tenemos que rogar tanto a los políticos?
Burned alive. Burned alive. 8 years old.
How many people need to die for something to change? My daughter.
How many
That
more?
was his daughter.
How many more people?
The guy only got 25 years for 3 people. She was the only one that passed away. It was also her mom's partner. And he only got 25 years and she got on 12. How is that fair? For 3 people. There should be a change.
This is enough. Enough is enough. We don't need more lives taken. We live with the grief. We live with the pain. We buried our loved ones because they want liberal rights. We don't need politics. We need to save people's lives.
City representatives are paid to listen to us, not to ignore us.
We voted
We
for
can
you all.
fire all of them if we get signatures. If
We
they keep
voted
ignoring
for
us.
you all
We
to
can fire
protect
them.
our city, our community.
We can fire all of the politicians if we collect enough signatures if they
We
keep
need
ignoring
change.
us.
And it needs to start now. We can't wait. We can't need another child's life to be stolen. Not even our loved ones should be stolen. We need change, and you need to demand it.
Thank you for hearing us.
Thank you, God, for hearing
Send me
us.
your information, send us an email with your
I will.
contact information. Keep us looped in on anything that you all are doing. Thank you so much for being out here.
Por último, señor Montoya, yo hasta ahorita afortunadamente no he sido víctima, pero creo factualmente que si no formamos parte del movimiento, vamos a ser parte de las estadísticas. Realmente he tenido que escuchar historias que realmente me rompen el corazón. La niña, tal vez llego a jugar con mi niña que juega soccer y es impresionante cómo siguen pasando los accidentes y se siguen cobrando vidas de víctimas. Y espero en Dios y nadie de los que están en el poder que pueda tomar decisiones sean parte de las estadísticas, que es cuando van a querer tomar alguna decisión recta para la comunidad.
Estamos en una crisis.
Así que necesitamos más, que sean más estrictos con las personas para que dejen de tomar. Porque si tienen para una cerveza, pueden tener para un Uber. No necesitan.
Y es lo que iba a
manejar
preguntar, ¿qué
tomando.
programas están puestos? Porque sé que Uber a veces nos da 25 horas a la semana. Estamos. ¿Cuántos programas hay?
We're not going to solve it all in one day.
We
Going
understand
through the
that.
process. You all keep coming out. You all keep educating this community. We're going to keep educating the community. So I think I've said it before. We also need juries. We need juries to show up and tell us what this community values. I'm telling you, we have had cases where DWI's fatality, we have had juries give someone probation.
Exactly. The community needs to stand with us. The community, they want to change. They need to learn not to let them out of probation because it can happen to them too. That's what we need, the community to help.
Also, we have one of our advocates here passing out information for the reading of the name ceremony. So, like I said, thank you so much. Reach out to me. I gave you my cards. She's also here for any help. Anything you all need from us.
And if you're not hearing, if you don't get a response back from another elected official, you know, I know Representative Gonzalez wrote the letter back. I know it sounds like you all met with Representative Perez. You know, if there are other elected officials that you want to meet with that you're not hearing from, let us know and we will make that meeting happen.
Mr. Montoya, you said, with respect, I'm going to ask you, you said it takes time. It's not going to happen from one day to another. We have moms here who have waited 5 years. How much more time? I mean, because we're going to have to let those parents know, you know what, you've been waiting 5 years. How much longer is she going to wait to get justice for her child? Which at the end of the day, we do not get justice.
I will tell you my goal. The longest case that I myself handled from the time that it happened into the trial is 4.5 years.
Okay.
That was the longest. The quickest one that I ever had was in 9 months. Murder case. From the day that it happened into the trial. My goal is today, cases that are going to go to trial, I think 2 years is kind of about the time. Because the cases that are going to trial right now, in 2026, are cases that happened in 2023 and 2024.
You see, this is a mother that her daughter passed away in 2021. So we're 2026 and she has no response because there's no enough evidence. You know, to us it's very frustrating because we know that the evidence is there and there's still, to us, it's like you're mocking us, saying that there's nothing.
I promise you, it's not intended that way.
Yeah.
You only see a lot of people. the biggest rub between law enforcement and prosecutors is the amount of evidence to arrest somebody is probable cause. Did the person probably commit a crime? That's a very low threshold, right? The reason why is we want police to be able to arrest people if they're dangerous, right? If they could probably committed a crime. But to convict them of a crime, we need proof beyond a reasonable doubt, which is the highest. So probable cause is the lowest, beyond a reasonable doubt is the highest. And so we only get one chance. Because if the jury says not guilty, that's it. The end. No more. And so we only get one chance to go to court, to go to trial. And so we need to make sure that we have all the evidence, all the ducks lined up, and that we go forward with our strongest case. And
There
so
should be,
I don't know specifically what you're talking about, but if you message us, I'll look to see. So in 2021, is the case pending or it just hasn't even been charged?
It hasn't. To our understanding, it's still like a pause. Nothing's happened.
Send us out and we'll see why that's still the case. When was the last time somebody gave you an update?
That was not my case. That's one of the moms. Yeah. So I will let her know so she can get updates on her case. Yeah.
And there should be mandatory testing when it involves not only just DWI, but when it comes to fatality, it should be mandatory. That was not done in my case at all. At all. They found no probable cause after he didn't kill my son. What do you mean there was no probable cause? That is insane. That is just unbelievable. So a lot of colossal failures along the way. It needs to change, and it needs to change now. It does.
We're going to keep working.
Y ahora no está. Ya nuestros hijos, ya nos vamos a agarrar. Yo vine de otro país para llegar aquí a los Estados Unidos. Es más seguro que la ciudad del Paso. Ahora no está mi hija.
My heart goes out to all of you all. You should not have to be here. We should not have to be here. You know, I do this work. You know, the responsibility of advocating for you all, and for advocating for this community. That's why I do this stuff. Okay, and that's what I tell my assistant prosecutors. We're going to keep advocating. We're going to have a legislative proposal heading into 2027 when our lawmakers are in session. You all keep doing these events. Keep having the meetings. We just have to keep educating this community.
Promise my son. I
We're
promise
gonna
my
have to
son we're not going to stop.
Change the culture. There are people out there that tell me that they don't feel safe on our roads after certain
There's
hours.
a lot of people who say that. Just read FitFam. It's crazy.
2026, to me, that is unacceptable. This is a city that, in many other ways, is very safe, right? You know, I don't worry that I'm gonna get carjacked, you know, driving around in a neighborhood. When I was campaigning for office, I would go to neighborhoods in Canutillo, I'd go to neighborhoods in Cornillo, I went to neighborhoods everywhere in between. And I never felt, walking around, talking to voters, that I was gonna be a good. But that's what makes this crime so scary.
It's an everyday problem. Even our bikers, my brother drives, you know, he rides a bike. He's so scared. He's like, forget it. Not only do we have reckless drivers in El Paso, everybody knows that, reckless. But there's so many bikers getting killed as well. You know, so my brother doesn't even ride his bike anymore. He's like, forget it.
That's what semi drivers say too. They're nervous to drive through our corridor, you know.
Para que nos ayuden con esto, para que las leyes sean más duras, para que estas personas que hacen eso tengan la conciencia de que van a tener una consecuencia grave si lo hacen porque saben que no hay una consecuencia.
Well, thank you for being out here. Keep making your voices heard to the community.
Thank you, James. But help us out, James. We need your help.
We will.
Thank you. I'm gonna hold you to that. Okay.
I have some very concrete ideas on laws that we can change.
Let's work on it.
We will.
Keep us included. All right. I got my bags ready. What do you want?
All right. Very good. All right, you all.
Thank you.
Yes. You save it.
Take it.
Hacer cambio. Mire, este es Alejandro Rodríguez, este es Magali, este es Steven, este es Anaí, este es el niño de otra persona. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué no los invitan cuando van a hacer estos cambios? Eso es justicia, para que enseñar que van a hacer cambios. Eso es justicia. Porque cada vida que está parado aquí del isla, todas las vidas que están parados aquí están importantes. Pero invítenos nuestros leaders, nuestro mayor, nuestro district attorney, nuestro governor, la señora Escobar, que los inviten para hacer el cambio.
Que nos representen bien.
Que los incluyan en esto, lo que van a hacer el cambio. Que no los tengan atrás de escuros. Y pon los retratos que se acuerden de cada familia que está parada aquí. Y que nuestros hijos importan. Nuestras familias los importan. Don't keep us out of the loop. No more. Don't keep us out of the loop. Our state and city leaders need to stand with every family that's here and take us with the legislature to demand the change. To demand the change. We need them. We need them to stand with us. Don't keep us out of the loop. Include every family that's been impacted and address our legislature. The leaders need to be with us. This is enough. We're here to protect our future, our families. No more victims.